What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel. Now, today, we are going to be going over our breeding guide. Now, this is going to be basically the main video of this series. And so, in last episode, we caught our hidden ability, Frostlass, which was the whole point of the video. And then this episode, we are going to be going over how we are going to breed that in order to get a perfect. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of information in this episode, and it's going to be really, really cool. Now, you may notice that we are not actually at the nursery. We are in Hammerlock City because there are a couple of things that we need to get before we can start breeding. So we're going to run in here, and you see this this nicely dressed lady right here? She sells things that cost battle points. Now, battle points are picked up from the battle tower and by playing online. Now, all you're going to need is 10 of them, because what you're going to need to buy is a Destiny Knot. Now, I already have one, but I'll go ahead and pick up another one. And so the Destiny Knot is insanely important because what it does is, so normally when you breed two mons together, 3 of their IVs, random IVs, randomly chosen between the 2 Pokemon, are passed down to the child, and the other 2 are completely random. However, when you use the Destiny Knot, that number goes from 3 to 5. So if you had 2 6 IV parents, that would then take your chance of getting a perfect from 1 in like 30,000 something to 1 in 32. So it makes a big difference. And so you're also vying for as viable of parents as you possibly can. So I went out and caught a male Vanillish. So I will just need to evolve him really quick. I believe he evolves at level 47. So we can go ahead and evolve him. So let's give him 2 of those. All right. And beautiful. We have our Vanillix. Perfect. Give it to me. Let's go. Give me that double scoop. There we go. Nice. So the reason we need Vanillix is if you missed previous episodes, we found out that this was a viable parent for our Frostlass. I do not want to rate a nickname. I want to remember a move, and only Vanillix of the line can learn Icicle Crash. And so we are going to find Icicle Crash, which is right here, and we are going to replace any of his moves. It really doesn't matter, just as long as he knows it. That is all that matters. All right, so we are set as far as that goes. So the next thing that we are going to need is Everstones. So an Everstone is normally an item that prevents your Pokemon from evolving. I think I have like 6 of them. I have 6 of them. They're really common throughout the Galar region. If you do not have one, the easiest one to find is going to be over in Turffield, and I'll show you where that is. But you absolutely need it. So what this does is it causes the nature of the Pokemon that you are that is holding it to always be passed down. 100% of the time, the nature will pass down to the child. And so right here, this is a guaranteed Everstone drop. So you can go right there and pick that up for yourself. All right, so the last piece of the puzzle here is going to be a Ditto. Now, Ditto is going to be over here next to the actual nursery. Make sure that you come over here and speak to the nursery person at some point throughout your playthrough. That way you can fly here. But yeah, so this is the Pokemon nursery in the wild area. I use this one over the nursery that is over in one of the routes. I just think it's a little more convenient. So I've already had some breeding going on, so I don't need you to be doing any of that just right now. But so what we need is a Ditto. Now Ditto is right over here, actually, conveniently right next to the nursery. Ditto can be found right here in this den right here. So just right next to the nursery. And so all you have to do here, I'm not going to show it just because I've already shown off everything. in the last episode, so make sure you watch that episode. But so what you're going to do here is you are going to do the exact same trick on this den as we did in the last battle. Do not settle for anything less than a 5-star Ditto. However, what's really cool about this den is that you will always have Ditto in a purple raid. Every single time that you get a purple beam, it will always be a Ditto. You may have to re-roll for a 5-star Ditto, but you will always have a Ditto. So that makes it really, really easy. I have several Dittos, and so the best thing is obviously to have a Ditto with 5 or 6 IVs. I currently do not have one that is 5 or 6 IVs. I have several 4 IVs. And so I'm going to be showing you what to do if this is the case for you, if you haven't gotten a 5 or 6 IV Ditto yet. We're just going to be going over those steps. However, the first step is going to be breeding Vanillix and our Frostlass. Now notice neither of them have a nature that we want, so we're not going to give either of them the Everstone. We are going to leave that up to chance. Now we're going to head back to the breeder, and I believe I already have some Pokemon in the daycare, so I need to go ahead and get those out. Yep, I was working on an Impidimp earlier, that is right. And so we are going to take that out. Cool. So what we're going to do is we are going to put in the Vanillix and the Frostlass. Now, before we do that, I do want to give the Destiny Knot to our Destiny Knot to our Frostlass, just because Frostlass does have 4 perfect IVs already. We might get lucky and get them to pass down those good IVs. So we're going to put those 2 in. Also, make sure that the Pokemon that you want to actually be the child is the female of the pair. It will always the child will always be whatever the female was. So we're gonna put this Ditto back in our Ditto collection, and we will put this Impidimp over here in our Brejects pile. There we go. All right, so now. Shellos, you are later. Go back there. All right. So what we're gonna do is now we just run around and wait for an egg to hatch or an egg to appear. Now, a couple things that you can do in order to make eggs show up faster. So the main thing that you can do is you can fly up here to Sirchester, and I will actually fly up here and show you where to go. Because there is something very, very useful up here in Sirchester. So what this is going to be is it is called the Oval Charm. I don't know why I got off my bike there. And it is going to be in the hotel. So what you're going to have to do is go in here, and we're going to go up the elevator. And I believe it is just this door right here. I think. I haven't looked at my guide in a while. Yes, this is it. So you talk to this guy right here, and this is, I believe it's Morimoto. Notice he's wearing a Dynamax ring. That is the first sign that you are in for a heck of a battle with this guy. But so you have to battle him. He has 6 Pokemon that are all level 65, and he Dynamaxes his Snorlax. And once you beat him, you will get the Oval Charm. And then you can come back and battle him once a day, just for the experience. He doesn't give you anything else. But yeah, so that is very useful, and that actually doubles your chance of, a Pokemon showing up in the daycare. So that is super, super helpful, and you will definitely use that all the time when you are breeding. It's a passive thing, kind of like the Shiny Charm, and so see, when she puts her arm up like this, that means that there is an egg in there. So we received the egg from the nursery worker. Awesome. So we have our first egg. That is perfect. So we know that in this egg is a Snorunt that knows Icicle Crash, which is awesome, which is exactly what we're looking for. So the other Pokemon that we're going to need is something with a specific ability. Now this is a Colossal that has Flame Body. Flame Body or Magma Armor will work. However, I don't think there are any Pokemon in this game that have Magma Armor at least able to be caught. So Flame Body is going to be your really main method. And so Colossal is a great method, is a great one. And the other one is, I believe it's the hidden ability of Scorch. So you can also get that from a max raid battle if you wish. So we will also talk to this guy right here, and I want to talk a little bit about making money. So you can see that I have an absolute ton of watts right now at 275,000. This is because we were doing that method last time, and after you go searching for whatever Pokemon it is you want, plus a couple of Dittos, you will have a lot of watts. And so in order to make a ton of money, there are two main methods that you can go through. The first method is the Watt Trader method. And so what you're going to do is you're going to talk to Watt Traders until you find one that has a luxury ball. Now, this guy only has Dusk Balls, so we're not using him. But so the Watt Trader that has luxury balls, you buy all of the luxury balls you can and then go sell them. That's $1,500 a pop. And so you will make a ton of money in no time. Also, I didn't explain why we're running Flame Body. That's probably important. So the reason we run a Flame Body Pokemon on our team is because it actually cuts the steps needed to hatch the egg in half, which is insanely helpful. All right, so back to money. You can also go right over here, and this is the Digging Duo. These guys will dig underground for treasures for you, and all you have to do is pay them 500 watts. Now, with 275,000 watts, that's going to be a lot of digging. And so while it is a lot more tedious to just sit and mash the A button over and over and over and over, they can give you really cool stuff, such as rare bones. They can give you fossils, possibly. So that is really how you shiny hunt fossils, is to just get a ton of watts and then just mash A in front of them for forever. Oh, our first egg is hatching. Yeah, so SnowRun actually takes a little while to hatch, but with Flame Body, it's not that bad. And there is our SnowRun. He is so cold. Somebody get this guy a sweater. All right, so this is our first SnowRun. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and check on this boy just to make sure that everything is good. So we have a SnowRun. He's an Ice type. Perfect. He has Inner Focus, which I don't believe is his hidden ability. Now, one thing we do have to make sure of is that the SnowRun that we get has its hidden ability passed down. Hidden abilities are passed down 60% of the time if the parent has the hidden ability. And yeah, so this thing also gets moody. And so this Pokemon is not going to be usable for us. We need a SnowRun that has moody. So yeah, but it is a 60% chance that that these SnowRuns will have moody. We just got unlucky with the first one, and that is completely okay. Now, another thing about breeding that is really cool is shinies. Now, the best way to hunt shinies in this game is actually by breeding, and it is with a method called the Masuda method. Now, what the Masuda method is it is a method put in by Junichi Masuda. He was the leader of Game Freak back for Diamond and Pearl, and he sneakily put in a cool little mechanic into the game that really increases your chance of shinies by a ton. And all you have to do is breed together two different mons from two different language games. And so I'll show you what it looks like if you have a Pokemon from another language. The easiest way to get Pokemon from another language is going to be by surprise trade. That's how I've gotten a ton of them. And there's Moody. So we got a Moody Pokemon here, and he knows Icicle Crash. So it's just that simple. So we can check his IVs really quick by going into our box, and he has one perfect IV. And that's actually okay. That's fine. This one we don't need. We're going to release him. Goodbye. So this one is usable. And basically what you're going to do is go find a Ditto. My Dittos are over here. There they are. And so now we're going to breed him with these Dittos and attempt to get the best of all of them. The best of all of these stats. So we do need to make sure that this has Moody, which it does, so that way it can pass it down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pick up one more egg and I'm going to test to see if we get any better. Since we do have the Destiny Knot, it's possible that we could get a better snow run. But so I'm going to pick up one more and then hatch this party, and then after that we are going to move on. But so I will hatch all of those, and I will see you guys in just a second. Oh, all right. So this is our final egg. Let's see just how good these snow runts are. I haven't checked any of them since that first one, but we'll just have to see what we get. All right. How are you guys looking here? You are moody. So see how we got a 3 right there. We got a 3 IV, and we actually still don't need special attack. So we only need to fix HP and speed. But otherwise, this one is almost ready. So this is definitely our best one. All right. So we kept two moody mons. That's fine. So we still don't have the nature correct, which is fine. We're just gonna have to roll for random nature, and that is just totally fine. So I'm going to release these two, and then I may ask some people I know if they want the hidden ability ones, or if you want one in the comments, let me know. And if I haven't traded them away yet, then they're all yours. I can give you a hidden ability snow run. Anyway, so now that we have our hidden ability snow run, we are going to be switching him out and into the daycare. So we're going to put you here. And so what we need is HP and speed. That's what we need to fix. So let's pick up this Ditto here. Now notice his defense is only decent and his special attack is decent. We don't care about special attack on this mon because we're only running a physical set. So what we're going to do is give this the Destiny Knot. And so what we need to do is just get super lucky now. And so if it pulls attack now, it's guaranteed perfect. If special attack is one that is pulled, guaranteed perfect. So we're not really that worried about it. So we need to pull Snowrunt's defense, and we need to pull the HP stats of Ditto. It's a lot of random chance, but that is how Pokemon goes. And so we do not want this egg. Thank you. We're going to take back both of these parents. Yes, I would like to take these back. Thank you. And so now what we're going to do is we are going to put in these two boys right here, and we are searching for the correct nature first of all. So if you get a decent one that has the right nature on it, go ahead and switch that in, even if it's not as good as the parent, just because you can then guarantee that nature all the time by using an Everstone. So let's go ahead and get these out of our party and take back this Destiny Knot. Thank you. Yeah, the Destiny Knot is insanely useless competitively otherwise. Also, we have our Cursed Body Frostlass, which we will probably use later. We'll put him right there. And so now we just begin hatching. And so the way we're going to do this is we are, first of all, at least the way that I do it, is I start by looking for nature, because they're all going to have at least decent IVs, since the Ditto is holding the Destiny Knot. But now we are looking for nature. And so the nature that we had on our Glalie was Jolly. So we're looking for plus speed minus special attack. That is the nature we're looking for. Now, alternatively, if you were to get a perfect one before you got the nature, that's totally fine. You could just nature mint it. That is expensive. That is a lot of battle points. It is 50 battle points for one mint, which takes a while, actually. You guys saw I'm at about 34 now, I believe, is how many I have. But yeah, it takes a while. Breeding does take a long time, but it is really, really awesome once you get that perfect Pokemon, and raising it to be raising it all the way up from catching a random one out in the wild all the way to having a perfect one that is competitively ready. So we've given it Egg Move. It has its hidden ability now. At least most of the time it'll have its hidden ability. And so yeah, now it's basically down to a lot of luck. So once we hatch a few of these, we will talk about it, and then I will probably just cut until we get what we want. Just because I'm not gonna sit here and bore you with hours, possibly 2 seconds of me just running around in circles. But so we will hatch a few of these, and then we will cut to later. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about breeding that I am forgetting. So one thing to remember is if you do get a Gigantamax Pokemon, you cannot breed down the Gigantamax factor on a Pokemon. So none of its children will be able to Gigantamax, only that specific one. And this is why we breed for IVs, because you don't want to burn all of your bottle caps on that. If you use all of your bottle caps on regular Pokemon, then you will not have any left to make your Gigantamax Pokemon ready to go. You will also not have enough to make the mints work out. Now, one trick that you can use that I did not show in this video is if you get a Pokemon with Synchronize and put it first in your party. Now, this is whether it's fainted or not. If you put it first in your party and it has the ability Synchronize, the random Pokemon that you encounter will always share its nature. So that is a fast method to getting the right nature in the wild. So that's something to consider. So if you go for a Gigantamax Pokemon, make sure to bring something with Synchronize that is the nature that you want, and it will always have that nature already for you, so you won't have to use a mint. So that's a cool tip for that. We didn't use it for our max raid battle, but I just wanted to be able to show you the full process. But if you find something with Synchronize, then yeah, you are absolutely free to use that. For me, the best thing to do is to just start breeding. All right, so we did not get the ability. Oh my goodness! Or we did not get the nature, but we got a 5 IV Moody Snorunt. So that is fantastic. So we're gonna put you over here in this corner, and we are already gonna switch you out with your parent. Yes. Because now we have 5. All we need is HP. So we can leave the same Ditto in because the Ditto that we have already has perfect HP. No, I don't want you in my party. So the Ditto we have in there already has perfect HP. Whoops, and I pressed that. Well, send the box, whatever. I'm just misclicking all over the place. It's fine. I'd like to leave Pokemon. Yes. So this is our Ditto here, I believe. Holding the Destiny Knot that we're going to spend $500 extra. That was completely unnecessary. And he has perfect HP. Yes, he does. And we are going to now put in our 5 IV Snow Run. And that's the thing, is that it can happen that quickly as far as getting 5 IVs. And again, you do have the option that if you were to get the 5 IV like that, you could just raise it to level 100 and then hyper train it, and that would be totally fine. But again, that is a lot of resources that you would be using up. And so, yeah, I tend to try not to use a ton of resources if I don't have to, when this is just completely free. But so yeah, so that is how we're going to be switching that out. And now we are just vying for nature. Again, we can mint it later, but I would much rather get it from breeding and not have to go spend 50 battle points, because then I'll have to go earn it again. Now, something I may not have mentioned is how I'm doing this in the PC. So you may be looking at this and being like, how are you seeing this decent, best, pretty good, all that stuff? Mine doesn't look like that. So the way that you do this is you are going to go to the battle tower, and all you have to do is battle until you get to Leon. When you beat Leon, you will have the ability to see this. So best means 31. Best is perfect. And fantastic is 30. And below that, no good is 0. And besides that is somewhere in the middle. Now, we want all bests, except for in a couple of situations. You may want 0 speed. So if you look here, I have a 0 speed Ferrothorn. I did not do it on purpose. I just got lucky. I got a perfect Ferrothorn with... where is my Ferrothorn at? There he is. So you see how he is no good in speed. So I got everything perfect but attack, and I got no good in speed. So I said, well, I guess I'm hyper training that, because I'm never going to get that kind of luck again. And the reason that you would want 0 IV in speed on something is Gyro Ball or Trick Room. Either of those will work awesome with a 0 IV. Now, the other stat that you may want to be 0 is actually going to be your attack stat. If you're a special attacker, most of the time you're going to want your attack stat to be as low as possible. The reason being is for 2 main factors. One of them is Foul Play. Foul Play is a dark type move that's base power is based on your attack stat, and so you might want that to be 0, to be a lower stat. Now, the other reason you might want that is Strength Sap. Now, Strength Sap wasn't nearly as much of an issue in past generations, and it wasn't even worth mentioning, honestly, until this generation. They gave so many new things, Strength Sap, in this game, that I feel like it's actually necessary to mention. Things like Poltegeist get it, Jellicent gets it now, which is insane. There are just so many things that are just really bulky. Galarian Corsola is a really big one. That's on a ton of teams right now. And it gets Strength Sap. So many Mons are carrying this now. And so what Strength Sap does is it heals them based on the actual number of your attack stat. And so the higher your attack stat is, the more that your opponent will be healing off of you. So on a special attacker, you do not want that attack stat high at all. And so you may have noticed that, like in past showdown videos, if I was running a special attacker, that my IVs were already set to 0. That is why. So what do IVs do? So while we're doing some exciting hatching, you can just listen to this part because this is just hatching. But what do IVs do? So they are 0 to 31, and basically what they equate to is +1 to any stat at level 100. So with 31 IVs, you're going to have 31 more in a stat than you would have had if you had a 0 IV. So this may sound like not a huge deal, but 30 points is you not outspeeding your opponent. 30 points is you not killing your opponent. 31 points is you not living a hit that you would have lived otherwise. It can make a huge difference for these to not be maximized. So yeah, that's what these do. We will talk about EVs in the next video, and why they have such an impact. But yeah, so that is why that matters. Now, natures. Why are we caring about natures? The reason we care about natures is because they give a 10% boost or nerf to a particular stat. The red is a boost, and the blue is a cut. And so on every Pokemon, you are going to want to run a non-neutral nature. I can only think of maybe one Pokemon where you would want to run a neutral nature, and it would be a mixed attacker. And even then, it's probably better to probably raise your speed and lower a defense stat rather than anything else. So we are going to check on these. Inner focus, we have a Moody here, so that is not the right nature. Not the right nature. All right, so we did not get the right nature. We got close with this one, but these are all not going to be what we need. So we're going to dump these in a box. We're going to dump them right here, and then we are going to keep right at it. Whoops. So yeah, IVs really do make a huge difference as far as your stats go, and your nature makes a huge difference. A lot of times there is a discussion on whether to run, like on physical attackers, whether to run Jolly or Adamant. Adamant boosts your attack and lowers your special attack, while Jolly boosts your speed and lowers your special attack. And then there's Timid and Modest for special attackers, which do the same thing respectively. And so if you are Modest, yes, you're hitting harder, but you're slightly slower. And so something may outspeed you that wouldn't have before if you weren't Timid. Now, most of the metagame runs the speed boosting nature, just because if you don't go first and you get hit, then it doesn't matter if you had extra power. There are certain mons that can afford to run like Adamant or Modest or anything like that. Right now, a big one is Dragapult, because Dragapult is so naturally fast. It outspeeds almost anything, barring a super already fast Scarfer. And so a lot of people will run Modest on it just for the extra power, or Adamant, but it has a much better special move pool. I'll be covering him on the channel soon, because I do feel that he will eventually get banned. I just think he's a little too good. There's not a whole lot of counters to him, but we will talk about him later. I have already made a competitive one. That was the first mon that I bred for. So yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about before I cut to us getting the mon that we want is I want to talk about IVs and their relationship with hypertraining. Now, we will not be hypertraining in this video, because I want to show you how to get it legitimately without doing hypertraining. But you might have been thinking, well, Dapper, why can't I just go catch my Ditto, take him to the battle tower, hyper train him, and then he's perfect. He's 31s all around. It's awesome. I don't need to catch multiple Dittos to cover stats. I don't need to do any of that. Here's the problem. Hyper training does not actually change the number of the stat. It actually only just makes it act as though it is 31. So yes, the stat will appear as 31 as far as in battle and everything, but in breeding, it will pass down whatever the original IV was. It is not possible to change your IV after a Pokemon has been bred. You cannot change the actual number. You can change the stat, but when it comes to breeding that Pokemon, it will pass down whatever its original stat was before hyper training. So that is something to just keep in mind. A lot of people have asked me that. Why can't I just do that? Yeah, it just doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. So we do not need either of these. We will go ahead and dump them. But yeah, so I'm probably going to just stick with these parents for a while and see if I can get lucky, because we do have a 5 IV and a 4 IV in there. If I had a better Ditto, then this would be a lot easier. A 6 IV Ditto and a 5 IV parent is pretty great. And what's even better is if you had a 6 IV Ditto from another language, so that you could be doing Masuda method constantly. Speaking of which, I did not show you what it looks like to have a foreign Pokemon in your box. And this is the easiest way to get shinies in this game. It is a 1 in 600 something chance, I believe, to get a shiny using what is called the Masuda method. And so, yeah, there we go. So this is a foreign Pupitar that I got through Surprise Trade. And so you'll see that JPN, that means that he is from Japan. This Indeedee is from Japan. This Dreepy is from Japan. This is from France. And so whenever you do, this is from Spain. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can get just by Wonder Trading. Or I guess it is not Wonder Trading anymore, it is Surprise Trading. But so you can get all kinds of Pokemon from other languages, and that will help you to get shinies a lot faster. Full odds is 4,096. It is a 1 in 4,096 chance, which is insanely low. However, if you do Masuda method, it gets it down to 1 in 600 something. And if you have Shiny Charm, it gets it down to 1 in 512, which is crazy. The other method for hunting shinies is much, much, much worse. So I'll tell you about it, but I'm not going to show you because it is actually awful. The other method in this game is called chain battling. And so what you do is you go find a certain Pokemon. So let's say we are wanting to shiny hunt Cubchoo's here. Hello. He wants to give me a hug. Hello. I love you too. You're so cute. But so let's say we're wanting to hunt Cubchoo's for shinies out in the wild. So what you have to do is, in order to maximize your chance, you need to go out in the wild and knock out or catch 500 of them. First of all, that's going to take a really, really, really long time to do 500 Pokemon. Second of all, once you do that, you also then have to you're rolling the dice even more. So this is how this works. This is how these work. What you are going to do is you will then have a chance of getting the what you need. Okay, so if you look right here, this is going to be our new snow run, because as you can see, he has all of the IVs that we need. Now, again, we could just take this snow runt, and I'm going to put you in a box over here. So what we could do is just take this snow runt, slap a Jolly Mint on him, and then he'd be fine. He'd be good to go. But it is up to random chance from here on out to try to get a Jolly one. And so I probably will not show the rest of me just grinding this out, but I am going to switch this snow run in because we really don't care about special attack. So yeah, this will give us the best shot of getting the best IVs every time, is by taking back our snow run and send him to a box. Do not take back Ditto, and so now we're going to put in our now better snow run. Perfect. I hope if I actually talk to the lady and don't just go into my box. But yeah, so we are going to put this guy in. He now has the perfect IV set that we need because we're not using special attack at all. And now we are just going to start grinding to make sure. Actually, I didn't make sure that has Moody. If this doesn't have Moody, then I'm going to be really upset, because this is exactly what we were looking for. Please tell me you have Moody. Well, rip. So he does not have Moody, so he is not usable, unfortunately. He got the right IVs, but he does not have Moody. So we need to put back in our old snow runt here and just keep trying. So I will cut back once I get the snow runt that I need, and I will see you guys back in just a second. Oh, we got it. Let's go. All right, so we have our Moody snow runt here with perfect everything except special attack, but we will not be using special attack. Now, if you want to know how many it took, let's see here. Yeah, it took a lot of snow runs. Now, a lot of that is because I didn't have a great Ditto. But if you catch a better Ditto, then that'll help you a lot. Now, I did go back in the middle of this because I wanted it to not take as long, and I wanted to try my luck again, and I did another 5-star Ditto raid, and I actually got a 5 IV Ditto, which actually matched the IVs of the snow runt that we wanted, and so that made it a lot easier, and I got it like 2nd round of eggs or something after that, so that helps. So better Ditto you have, the faster you are going to get these eggs. So yeah, this is our level 1 snow runt. He has Moody and Icicle Crash. So this was the entire point, and we got it. So in the next video, we will be making this Pokemon competitively ready. So we will be training it, and we will be going over how hyper training works. I'll be showing you about how mints work. And we will go into EVs and all of that. So I hope you guys are looking forward to episode 4 of this series. That'll be the final episode. And yeah, so just leave a comment on any of these videos if something I said wasn't clear, or if there's anything that I just need to explain further. And I'll either put it in the comments, or I'll make an entire separate video just clearing up anything that I didn't explain well. So anyway, guys, I will see you in episode 4 for some training. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.